Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we're moving way beyond the back pages of those magazine horoscopes. We're going to explore the sun in astrology. And we're not just looking at it as some casual daily horoscope sign. No, we're talking about the literal radiant heart, the central engine of the entire birth chart.
Let's dive right in. When someone comes up and asks, "Hey, what's your sign?" you automatically tell them your sun sign, right? "Oh, I'm a Leo," or "I'm a Pisces." It's completely our cultural default. But have you ever stopped to wonder what the sun actually does in your birth chart? Like, what is its mechanical, structural purpose working behind the scenes of your personality?
So, to figure that out, here's our roadmap for today. 1. The celestial monarch. 2. The intelligent light. 3. Heart of the matter. 4. The solar phase cycle. And 5. The archetypal hero. We're going to journey from the massive scale of the cosmos straight down into your own personal destiny.
Starting us off with Section 1, the celestial monarch.
You see, in both ancient and modern systems, the sun is literally the ultimate anchor point. It provides a massive focal point for all the other planetary activities happening in a horoscope. And this actually brings us to something called sect. It's this ancient astrological doctrine that basically divides charts into day and night. It determines a planet's overall power based entirely on, you guessed it, the sun's position. So if the sun is above the horizon when you're born, meaning a daytime birth, it becomes the undisputed leader of what's called the diurnal team. This is a huge deal because it actually gives planets like Jupiter and Saturn much greater constructive power in your chart, all just because of where the sun is sitting.
But beyond just being this celestial monarch, the sun acts as the ultimate cosmic clock. It dictates the seasons, it literally generates the entire tropical zodiac through the solstices and equinoxes, and it triggers our annual solar returns. Think about that for a second. That is what a birthday actually is. It's not just cake and presents, it's this profound moment where the sun returns to the exact, precise mathematical position it held the moment you were born, officially kicking off a brand new chapter for you.
And this whole clock aspect, it highlights one of the absolutely most fascinating timing techniques in astrology. They're called secondary progressions, and they're built entirely around the number 90. So astrologers use this formula where each of the first 90 days right after you're born symbolizes one full year of your life. The sun's movement in those crucial first 90 days mathematically encapsulates 90 years of your future potential. It's wild. It basically allows you to look at the tiny acorn and, at the exact same time, see the massive oak tree it's going to become.
Moving right along to Section 2, the intelligent light.
Now, ancient cultures, from Mesopotamia all the way to Greece, they definitely didn't just look up and see a hot ball of gas. No way. They depicted the sun with rays emanating from its head. They viewed it as this divine, fiery intelligence that completely permeated all of nature. We usually pair the sun and the moon together, right? And traditionally, the moon is associated with our physical body and our instinctual, kind of knee-jerk reactive responses. But the sun? The sun represents the abstract mind. The Greeks actually called this nous. It's our ethereal, conceptual vision. We're talking about the perceiving, high-level mind here, absolutely not base instinct.
Crucially, though, this solar intelligence we're talking about isn't just about being good with words. Actually, scratch that. That kind of wordy cleverness, that belongs to the planet Mercury. The sun is more like that mental light bulb moment. It's that sudden, brilliant flash of illumination when you finally see a hidden solution to a problem. In fact, in certain traditions, the sun is explicitly linked to the right eye, representing this grand, overarching capacity for true, absolute, clear vision.
Okay, Section 3, Heart of the Matter. So, shifting gears from the abstract mind down into the physical realm, the sun absolutely anchors our biological survival. If we look at the organ it rules, it's the heart, constantly pumping life-giving blood. What about its lifespan correspondence? That would be longevity and your core life force. When we look at the nervous system, the sun governs the actual life breath that animates you. Oh, and its symbolic metal is gold, which makes perfect sense, right? Just as gold is the most valued enduring metal we have, the sun is literally the gold standard for our physical health, our vitality, and even our sense of self-worth.
This brings us to Section 4, the solar phase cycle.
You have to remember, the sun's power is just incredibly intense. Think about those ancient myths, like Icarus flying way too high, or the descent of the goddess Inanna. Getting too close to that cosmic fire brings immense danger to all the other planets. And we actually see this dynamic play out in astrology as a very distinct three-step journey. Step 1, a planet approaches the sun. Step 2, the planet goes what's called under the beams. This means it gets within 15 degrees of the sun and is literally burnt up by the glare, completely invisible to the naked eye. And then, step 3, cazimi. This whole process represents this incredibly profound initiatory journey. It's like a planet disappears into the sun's rays to die, only so it can be reborn.
Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is a cazimi? Well, it translates to being in the heart of the sun. And it is this truly incredible astrological exception. When a planet gets right to the exact, precise mathematical center of the sun, it's no longer burnt up at all. Instead, it's totally protected and massively empowered. It's kind of like it's been invited to sit safely right in the lap of the king. It perfectly illustrates how the sun acts as both the ultimate end of our old cycles and the brilliant, sparking insemination of new ones.
And finally, Section 5, the archetypal hero.
So let's connect all of these ancient, massive cosmic mechanics directly back to you. In modern astrology, the sun basically acts as the executive function of the ego. It's the archetype of the hero moving out of the unconscious and stepping into the bright light of self-awareness. But to really grasp this, we need to talk about this concept called praxis. Praxis is intentional action. It's your life purpose. It's the whole underlying agenda and the core why behind every single thing we do. Think of it like this. Your rising sign? That might dictate how you go about doing things out in the world. But your sun is your praxis. It is the why. It's that deep, radiant reason you are ever driven to achieve anything in the very first place. Now keep in mind, this energy definitely has a dual nature. On one hand, an optimally functioning sun gives us this generous, incredibly healthy confidence. It brings purposeful action and this real sense of nobility. We naturally strive for objectives that just make our lives feel deeply meaningful. But, on the other hand, a challenged sun? Well, that vital solar energy gets distorted. It can end up manifesting as pure arrogance and stubborn pride. Or, conversely, it can show up as a complete lack of vitality and this really deep, paralyzing fear of ever stepping into the limelight. At the end of the day, the sun ultimately represents our absolute, unshakable faith in our own destiny. It is that inner executive force that literally pushes us to act entirely alone if we have to. It's constantly urging us to rise way above whatever our current circumstances are and to fiercely maintain our total integrity, especially in those moments when our character is really being tested. It's what drives our most fundamental human need for autonomy.
As we start to wrap this explainer up, I want to leave you with this absolutely beautiful summary from our source material. Quote, "The radiant center that gives us the warmth to grow and the light to see." Just let that poetic nature sink in for a second. Because whether you view the sun as this ancient celestial king, or a giant cosmic timekeeper, or simply as a map to your modern authentic self, its core fundamental function remains exactly the same.
Which leads us straight to our final thought for today. Take a real look at your own life right now. Based on everything we've unpacked together, are you just surviving your circumstances, quietly reacting to the world going on around you? Or are you stepping boldly into the absolute center stage of your own life? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this knowledge empowers you to align your everyday actions with your highest, most radiant intentions. Catch you next time.